well, Fibo. Yeah, I'm good. Voice is yet to be clear. That's it. So everything is fine. Okay, I think we were talking with the sonar cube and we understood how to handle the sonar cube, right? So that is what we done. And the next concept that we want to focus is next concept where we have to keep focus is distributed build setup. Distributed build setup, guys. Got it? Distributed build setup is what we are planning to focus on. And this concept is a little advanced area of the Jenkins only. But this concept can be very important if you are experienced. The chances of asking this question is super on the table if you say that I got 2, 3, 4 years of experience. So, what is this concept? So, distributed build setup is all about simple point first. It's all about getting your builds done, getting the builds done on client machines or node machines. Okay. So, what is this story? So, I want you guys to take down the first a little small diagram. So, let's imagine, guys, this is our Jenkins server. And imagine this is okay. So, let's take it. So, this is our Jenkins server. And all the builds happen here. Okay. All the builds are happening here. Now, what happens is a point will come or a time will come where you'll feel that Jenkins server is overloaded, overload with the work, right? So when it is overloaded, I guess what happens is things in the project gets delayed. You'll feel that okay, everything is happening in a delayed format, and definitely the team will think about why can't we have distributed build setup concept. So distributed build setup concept in the Jenkins is all about creating some like this. The one machine, another machine, another machine. So creating some computers and you're trying to send the load here. That is what happens. Load C. Here it is load. It is getting. Got it? So the load gets transferred here. So I'll call these missions as nodes. Nodes, or I'll call this as clients. Got it? Nodes are clients. But very technically, in a Jenkins, we call this as master. The server is classified as a master and all the clients are classified as slaves. So distributed build setup is all about setting up master and slave configuration. Am I clear on this point? So what happens is when you get too much of load on the server, instead of the builds happening on the server side, the build will travel to the client or a node or a slave. It gets executed there and comes back with the result. That's it. That means here we are trying to utilize the slaves processor to get the build process done and the results are published on the server. Okay. Have you understood, Anuja, Arun, Atif? Okay. See, we do it in our normal life also, guys. correct? So normally, let's say, I'll tell you one small thing which you might have seen in the life also. So let's say that you have a function at your home. There is some kind of event or some function, and you got received some 30 or 40 relatives. And generally, let's say our home accommodated 20 or 30. Okay, 20 to 30 people. So rest 20 people, you don't have a place in your home. So what do you do? So basically, we see in our life also, we may request our brother or friend or let's say our neighbors also sometimes, correct? So we approach them. So we'll utilize their premises for only for time being. And once the let's say function is over, they go back. Correct. Some people what they do is they accommodate the hotels also. They book the hotel. That is different story. That is commercial perspective. What I'm trying to tell you is a simple logic there that when the situation is getting overloaded, we just go ahead and utilize the other premises. That's the point there. Here also. So the basic premises is the build should happen on the server, but when the server is jam packed busy, the builds gets traveled onto the client, and on the client the build happens and the results are published on server. So that's the whole objective of this concept. Now let's see the technicality here, technical points. So master and slave configuration is basically invented, point number one, to reduce the load. That's it. That's the first point, to reduce the load. The second technical point involvement is to test the compatibility. What is the spelling? Okay, so to test the compatibility of code on different platforms. This is also one good observation that you will see. For example, just to see a use case, guys, just a small example. Let's say I have a small piece of a code, and this piece of a code, I'll send it to this machine, which may be a Linux. So I'll know whether this piece of the code is getting built on the Linux or not, whether it is running on the Linux platforms or not. The same piece of code, I'll create one more pipeline to go ahead and hit it on Windows. So this is Windows platform. See, the same piece of code is getting platform tested. You getting the point now, guys? What I'm talking? The same piece of a code, I'm trying to do the platform testing on Linux, and same piece of code I can try also on Windows. Maybe if the product you are trying to design, maybe it also cooperates Mac, then it makes necessary for you to test this product on Mac platform also. So this can be a Mac. So overall, so let's say the code is working here. Let's say the code is not working here and it is working here. Then definitely you'll get a feedback telling that, okay, in Linux it's okay, Mac is okay, Windows is not fine. So what we have to do? Tell me, guys. Basically, being as a developer, what we do? We'll try to identify what is missing or what's the reason that in Windows it's not working. So we make appropriate changes and make sure that we make it success here also. So the moral story is master and slave concept helps you to test the compatibility of the code on the different platforms also. So that is the reason the concept got a name called distributed build setup. See the meaning, distributed build setup. The concept is called distributed build setup, guys. Got it? Distributed build setup. Okay. So the builds are not happening on the server. The builds happens on the client. That's the reason the word is called distributed. Okay. Am I clear, Ranga, Divya, Ekta, Nayak, Kavya? Please confirm. Okay, nice. Now please write some technical points. So the technical points is the slave can be anything. The slave machine can be anything, guys. It can be a Windows. There is no problem if you are trying to host it on Windows, Linux, or a Mac. Okay. right? But the point is, on the slave machine, we never install Jenkins. This you need to keep in mind. We never install Jenkins on slave. This is one of the popularly asked question in the distributed build setup. Do you install Jenkins on the client or a node or slave? The answer is no. So we never install any Jenkins on the slave. So Jenkins will only sit on the master. It's not on the slave. Okay. Then next point, you need to know the whatever the node machine for what it is being configured. So something like what is its utilization? We call it as utility actually. So for what utility you're trying. For example, just another example, guys. Maybe see the use case. Maybe I'll transfer all the builds of Maven here. Okay. Maven, for example, I may transfer all the Gradle builds here. Or maybe I'll transfer all the Ant builds here. You're getting, say, 3 different tools are there. So Maven builds here, Gradle builds here, Ant builds here. So based on the code, if the code requires Maven to be built, then I'll transfer the code here. If the Maven, this part of the code requires, then let's say Gradle build, then I'll transfer the code to the Gradle machine. So that is the agenda here, guys. So on a different tools, we'll try to install different build tools also. So this is one example to understand that different distributed build setups are also helps you to get your third point is code can be built using different build tools as well. So that is another point. Code can be built using different tools as well. Now, technicality is if you want to build, imagine guys. So if you want to convert this machine into a Maven, then you need to configure all the things that are required for a Maven here. For example, if this machine you want to configure this as a Gradle, then you need to configure all the things that are required for a Gradle. For example, if you want to configure this machine to get the Ant done, then you need to configure all the things that are required for Ant as well. Clear? Kirti, am I clear? Shravya, Mayuri, Maunika, Nagireddy, Rajat, Pavan. Okay. Now let's do it. Okay. So what I'll do is, so the master server which we already created, we'll use that as a master. So this is what I was talking. So Jenkins distributed build setup. So see, builds can be done on different machines. So master server will be there, slave, slave, slave. So what we'll do is we'll do a quick demo. So demo will be, so first of all, we need to have a master server. So what we'll do is already existing machine where the Jenkins is already installed. We'll use that as a master server. Now to experiment the subject here as per our scenes. So I will go ahead and create one machine like this. This one I'm going to create. One Linux machine I'll create and I'll set up the architecture so that the builds from this machine will travel to this machine and get the build done. So that is what we are trying to do now. So first, go ahead and create an instance. Okay. So we'll say launch instance. We'll create one Linux machine. So this is 32B Jenkins slave Linux. You guys are 32 or 31? I'm guessing it's 31. Okay. Then AWS Linux, then T2 Micro, which is free, that is sufficient. Create a password, keeper. So that is this also same story. I'll say keeper, then create a keeper. Then I'll not touch this stuff. 8 GB is sufficient. Then I'll click on launch instance. That's it. So we're waiting for the instance to launch. So we'll say click on this ID. It will quickly go ahead and create the instance. So I'm just waiting for the mission to start. Refresh. It is initializing. So first we'll set up the client machine and then we'll start the server. Okay. And meanwhile, while it does, so Pawan Boya, so I keep on getting requests from you for to share the notes. So first of all, could you please tell me your full name, your email ID and phone number? Please send me that in the chat. You're there, Pawan? So quickly send me in the chat. So it is still initializing, guys. So I'm waiting for the mission to start. Okay, it's up. So 1 second, guys. Let me give the Pawan access to the notes. So Pawan have given the access. Okay, fine. Now let me connect to this instance. I'll copy this ID. I'll go here and use session. I'll say RDP. No, I'll not use this. I'll use SSH. Put this. So click OK. It will not work. Wait, we need to configure it properly. So SSH. Put this, go to the advanced and supply the private key. That is what you have to do. Use a private key. Whatever you downloaded, no? So where is the downloaded stuff? Downloads. Okay. Yeah, this is the one. Click OK. I'll say EC ec2-user, ec2-user. Yeah, I got connected. So here, guys, I recommend you guys to write the steps, observe and write the steps. I'll be slow because the steps little look different. So once you log in into the computer of EC2, please say sudo su, sudo space su, and you will become the admin. So once you become the admin, you have to do the three things. Simply, you need to do the three things, guys. So one is you require Java to be installed. You have to install the Java, configure the Java. This is common. This is common, guys. Any node computer, always this is the same story. Install Java and configure the Java, right? Second step is you have to select the tool, which builder tool you want. Select the tool. So let's say once the tool is decided. So let's say I want to use that machine for Maven. Just an example. Let's say you are using for Gradle, then accordingly you need to proceed. For example, our use case is Maven. So then we'll install and configure the Maven. That's it. These are the two activities that you'll do. So first is always common on any slave. Second step is based on decision. So that machine, if you're trying to use it for Gradle, then you have to set up the Gradle. If that machine you're planning to use for Ant, set up the Ant. If that machine you are using for, let's say, Maven, then you need to set up likewise. So I've decided to go with the Maven. So first step, I'll finish it off. So I'll refer to the notes and do it. So it's easy for you to know what is happening here. Okay, create the Linux instance. Yeah, created. I got connected. So once you got connected, create a workspace. That is what I have to do. Okay. So I'll say, where is my PWD? I'm here. So mkdir Jenkins. As per direction, I'm creating you have to create a workspace folder. Let's say mkdir Jenkins and make a note of the location path that is folder created. Yeah. PWD. So I made a note. Okay. So I'll copy this somewhere in the notepad and keep it ready. Yeah, that is a folder. Then next. Then need a user account on the slave which have a sudo power. So we can try with IC2-user, or you can create a new user account with this on the slave for admin power. See guys, on the client side, okay. One second, this chat I wanna quit. Okay. So on the client machine, you need to have a user account or you have to create a user account. It's up to you whether you have or you create. So if you have, well and fine. If you create, you have to create. So that user account should have the admin power. So for example, what I'm doing is I am not going ahead and creating anything. So existing user account called EC2-user, I'm going to use that. And that user account is not in the admin group. So I'm going ahead and adding that fellow into the admin group. So this is a command you need to do on the mission. So this is a Linux knowledge here. So there's a command called usermod, which will change the modifications, or you can say update the profile, adding to the primary group. So there is an admin group called wheel. So into that wheel group, I'm adding EC2-user. So that is what I'm doing. Done. Got it? So that means EC2-user got the admin power. So which is required for this task. So step number 3 is done, guys. Got it? So step number 3 is done. Now the step number 4 is to install the Git. So that is what we have to do. Step number 4 is Git. So I'm going ahead and installing the Git here. So how do you do? Sudo yum install Git. Press Y, press it. Okay, I'm done with the installation of Git also. You can say git hyphen hyphen version. Are we clear on the steps so far? Bhagat, Prithviraj. Confirm, guys. Are we clear so far? Okay, good. Now, once you're done with the installation of the Git, so the next most important thing is you have to install the Java. So that is what we have to do. So step wise, we have to install the Java, guys. So this is one important point you have to be very, very careful. So this, I'll put it as like this and mark it in red color so that you'll be aware. So note on the slave machine, okay, on the slave machine, or make sure that we install the Java JDK more than 11 version, guys, greater than or equal to 11th version of the Java. So let me go there and download it. Now, again, if the slave machine is AWS instance, then we can use below link to download and install 1.11. So this is what you need to install. This is an official documentation given by the Amazon only, guys, and AWS people. This is what you have to do. If you're trying to install your personal Javas on there or you try any open source, that will trouble. I'm telling you frankly. So you need to follow the process of the AWS guys only. So they say that this is what you need to do if it is AWS mission. So I'm doing it. Okay. I went into the site and they said what I need to do. Okay. Left hand side, you need to select Linux. Okay. See, there are choices here. I'm navigating here, guys. You can see Linux, and I need on install on Amazon. Yeah, this is what I want. Right. So option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. What you have to do here? 1 second. Which option we should select, because these are all new things. Install headless, install headful, install JDK, and install Jmod. So I want you guys to follow the option number 2. So what is in the documentation? Install headless is fine. Install 2. That is what? Yeah. We want second option to go. So I've done the same thing. So this is what you need to select. So be careful, guys. So once you come to this page, so please make sure that you have to utilize this option. Okay. These are all particular use cases. You need to use this option. So go ahead and copy this link and go to your machine and just paste it and press enter. Press Y. It will proceed with the installation of Java. Rahul, are you following me? Rohini, Samir, Sanjay, Ahmed, Afroz, Ravani. Okay. So I came up to here now. Okay. So what is our next step? So Java is installed. Now the question comes is, how do you verify? So that's the point. So there are some steps given here to verify. So you can try that. See, verify your installation on Linux by using this command. Right? You can try this. But our target is to go ahead and configure now. So let's go ahead and configure. So next step is configure Java, guys. Okay. So all the versions of the Java that are installed on the AWS machine can be found out at this location. So go to this location and fire it. cd/usr/lib and /jvm. So it will tell you whatever the Java versions are there on that AWS cloud machine. Did you receive any data? Okay, you went there now. Fine. So target is to go there first of all. We went there, then type ls-l. That is what you have to do. So type ls-l. So you got the data now. This much of data is there. Now you have to figure out and tell me which version did I install just now. You see a lot of lines, right? Which version did I install? You need to select the one which I just installed. You tell me the line number. If this was a 1, and let's say this is the last, which line number? I'm guessing, is it line number 3 or a line number 4, guys? So normally it will be either 3 or a 4, but I want you guys to follow the AWS guys. So they say that you have to look for a one that says ends with this name x8664. This is a, or you can say a blind principle where you can figure it out. So that ends with x86 and 64 is the one which we installed. So you need to find out, okay, I guess this is the one. Clear? Understood now how to figure out on the AWS server I'm talking about, on AWS instances. Because we're trying to install based on AWS principles only. Okay, so that is the version. So once you identify, our target is to configure now. So open this file, right? So whatever you install, just you need to make a note, guys. Okay, so this you need to make a note. So what we'll do, so we'll make a note of this, right? You need to make a note of this. So keep this values here, or let's put it here. This is what you need to make a note. Now this is available at which place, guys? Tell me. Can I say that this was available at you type pwd, can I say that that was available at this location? Do you agree? So this was available at this location. Do you agree with that? So this has been installed at this location because pwd command of the Linux is telling, so this is available at this location. So that's the entire path you need to make a note. So once you made a note, then what you have to do is open up this file or create this file. If it does not exist, create. If it's already there, update it. That's the only thing. So what I'll do is I'll say sudo, okay, sudo vi/etc/ profile. So that is what you need to type, a profile. So see the spelling also, P is small, everything is small. Open this and you have already some data in it. Okay, so don't try to manhandle any data here. Just blindly go to the dead end of the file and write your content here. That is the only thing you have to do. Go to the end of the file and write these 2 lines over there. This 2 lines means this is nothing but the path, whatever you made. See, this path and what I written here is the same. So whatever you get this, you need to put it there. So copy this and put it there. Am I clear so far? Shravani, Sushmita, Upendra, Vijay. You have to confirm, guys, so that I'll know that I am following you or you guys are following me. So save this and close. So we updated. So what is the next step? Then you try this. Source, you need to source this file also. Source is nothing but literally making sure that you create an impression of log off and login back. If you don't want to use the source command, then you have to log off and login back, guys. So I don't want to do that. So simply I'll say sources. It's done. Then type Java -version. You got your result now? You see the result? So this is an expected output, guys. So you should get the expected output like this. So this confirms that Java is installed and configured. Correct? So our part 1 is done. See, once you configure this file, once you write this stuff, okay, once you update this into a file, to affect the changes, you have to log off and log in back. That is what you need to do. That is a one step. Instead of log off and log in back, you can try a command called source. So source command will create an impression of saying that you have logged off and logged in back, or you can say it will pick up the fresh changes from that file. Clear? Understood now, Sushmitam? So I'm applying the source. I'm telling that consider the fresh changes of this file. You're trying to tell to the computer that I made some fresh changes into the file. So please pick up these changes. Okay. Then next, next is we're done with the installation. I mean to say this part is done. This part is done. Now we have to focus on this part. So our tool decided was Maven. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and configure the Maven on this slave. See how I do. So that is our next step. So step number 7 is install the required build it tool on the slave. So go to the official site. Same story. Go to the official site of Maven. Go to the Maven site. Okay. Then left hand side, go to the downloads. And once you go to the downloads, guys, you have these many choices, right? So in these choices, you should apply this binary and source are there. So source can be a good choice. All right. What do you need to download, guys? I want to know from your side. Will you download the binary or a source? I think I told you in the other class some time back. Will you download the binary or a source now on the Linux? See, source you should download when you want to when you download and modify it and use it. So customized use case is source. So when your use case is to just download and start using immediately, then you have to go with binary. So here our target is to go with binary, and please pick up the first link, this one. So binary tars are for Linux. So this is what you need to do. So is there screenshot is there? Yes. So you have already the screenshot here, the first one. So right click and say copy the link, come here and follow the steps as per the notes. So cd into the /opt. Yep. cd into the /opt. Then sudo yum install wget. So wget is a Linux command which will help you to download anything, guys. So yum or sudo yum install wget. You need to have the wget command actually. Wget is already there, so we're not worried. Now attach wget and put that URL link. So the benefit of wget is whatever you provide in the link, it will download. So it is something like a downloader. So wget, give that URL link. It will download. So it is super fast. Download is finished. See, you got it. Quick, so quick, it was finished. So once the download is done, that is sitting in tar format, you need to untar that. To use that, this is the command. So what we'll say, sudo tar -xvf apache. Untar this. Xvf it is. I typed avf. So xvf. Okay. Done. Now you can see a folder got unzipped. This is the one. This is the one which we got. So this you can ignore. Got it? This is the one. Now go into this, cd into that, and you'll see a lot of stuff in it, right? Bin, boot, conf, lib, a lot of things will be there. So now what we need to do? So get into that, right? And cd into that folder and type pwd. So once you go into that folder, make a note of that pwd value, pwd. So make a note of this path, guys. That is what you need to do. Make a note. So what I'll do, I'll keep it here, this value. Got it? So that is what I made a note. So once you made a note, now we need to focus on configure the client, guys. I mean to say configure the build tool on the slave machine. Like in Windows also we done. We downloaded the Maven, we unzipped, then we focused on configuring the Maven on the Windows. Right? Here also on the Linux, we are trying to focus on configuring the Maven. So we have to create this file. Create this file. If it already exists, just update. If it does not exist, we need to create. See, does not exist. At the bottom, you can see the new message I can see. It indicates that it is a new file. Right? So what I need to write here? So here I need to put this code. This code. So in this code, you need to little modify. What modifications you need to make? See here it is asking the path. See, path. So whatever the path that you got, just copy this and update this value. That's it. Clear? This is a one step I see a lot of trainees make a mistake. So please confirm if you got this into your brains. Because I just normally I'll do a pit stop at the point where generally students make a mistake and practicing. Okay, so at m2_home, please put the path of the where the Maven is installed. Then once you updated this, just copy this and put it there. That's the only thing you have to do. And come out. Done. Now try same story. Either you log out and log in back, or you source the file. I'm sourcing the file. So copy this and source that file. It's done. Then ask the Maven version now. Next thing is see mbn-v with the command. So mvn-v. You got it? You see Maven version, it is coming up. Confirm, guys. You see the Maven version, see? So from here, it is showing some data for us. So this confirms that Maven is also configured. Clear? Yep. So when this is done, now the scene or shooting, or you can say, now you need to turn to the hero. So we need to make the hero on. So we need to make the server up now. Okay. So where is our server? Client is ready, guys. We need to make our machine server up. So this guy 31B. Yep. So we'll say please switch on. And you can do this configuration even while the machine is on. No worries. We did not start. That is the only difference. Now we need to link up them. Now the point is, according to the diagram, so please make a note that whenever you want to link, what I can say, whenever I want to link the server along with the slave, so you have to create a link, right? So if you want to create a link between them, then you have to install a plugin called SSH agent. Please write this into your notes. This is mandatory. So to set up the link or to make both handshake or both talk to each other, then we need to install SSH plugin agent. Now the question comes is where you will install this SSH agent plugin. Is it on the server or is it on the client? Where you will install, guys? You have to install this plugin. All the plugins are installed only on the server, not on the client. So you have to install on the server. So far, you keep an eye or observation on the client. We did not install any Jenkins. So the conclusion is on the client Jenkins is not required. Only on the server Jenkins is required. So let's see what happened to the machine. It is still initializing. So let me refresh once again. Okay, still it is initializing. So meanwhile, we'll talk about the next step. So once a machine master is up, anyway, we are going to install this plugin. And then we'll go into the manage Jenkins. And then we'll go to this option that says manage nodes and clouds. And then we'll provide all the details of the client and then we'll configure. That's it. So once you configure, things are ready. So let's do it step by step. Okay, the mission is ready. So put a check mark, copy this, and we are calling another session RDP administrator. Click OK. Get the password. Copy this and put it here and click OK. So we got connected. We need to make the Jenkins up. So we know that Jenkins is sitting in our C drive. So we'll go to the C drive and Jenkins folder and we'll start the Jenkins. We'll say Java-R Jenkins.war. So Jenkins is fully up and running. Now I can open up the browser. So we'll say google.com, not Google. Why Google again? So I'm thinking out of box. So localhost colon 8080. Then we'll say Jenkins underscore admin, put the password and log in. So once you log in, what we have to do? So that's a big thing. So according to the notes, so if the slave machine's OS is Linux, okay, then we need to install SSH agent plugin. So that is what you need to do. So go here and search the plugin. So manage Jenkins and go into the manage plugins and go to the available tab. First check whether it is installed or not. If it is not, then only will install SSH now. SSH. Already this is installed. SSH build agent plugin. So that is what we want now. Yeah. Okay, we want only the credential. Okay, SSH agent plugin we require. So we'll change this. We'll go there, SSH agent. So we'll look in the available tab. So we'll say SSH agent. This is the one. So this plugin allows you to provide SSH credentials to build via SSH agent in the Jenkins. So this is what we require. So put a check mark and say install without restart. It is done. So once it is installed, what is our next step? So that is done, guys. So this part is done. And the step number 10 is add. So what this step number 10? Add the instance to the Jenkins node management and configure it on the master. Okay. So what this step is talking about is this one. So go into the dashboard, go to the manage Jenkins. Here you need to add, see whatever the node machine that you've done the setup now. So that details you need to add it here. So that means we are trying to introduce our client machine to the Jenkins. How to do the introduction or add? Under the system configuration, go to the manage nodes and clouds. Go here. And already you have some existing data here. So this is nothing but the server details only. Then I want to add a new node. Click on the new node. Everybody sees this option. Click on new node. Confirm quickly. This is one more area where students make a mistake. They'll select the configure clouds. No, you have to select new node here. Okay. So click on it. And once you click on it, then you have to give a name. So node name. See this is like again application form, guys. You need to fill up. So you can give any name for this configuration. I can say this is my 31B slave Linux. This slave is Linux machine for Maven builds. I want to use this for Maven builds. So click on permanent agent. So what is this interesting? So if you do not put this option checked permanent, what happens, when you restart the Jenkins, the configurations are gone. If you put a check mark, the configurations are permanent. So I recommend you to put a check mark and create. Now, this is where you have to fill the details. That's it. Once you fill the details, everything will be great. So let's do it. So description. Here you need to write the purpose why that slave has been invented. So slave created to our slave will do Maven builds. That's it. How many builds you want to be transferred to that computer, to the slave? How many builds? Only one. At any point of time, only one build. You can configure this to 2 also. It's up to you. Now, remote directory. This is asking remote root directory. So this is one point where you have to be super careful. So do you remember we started the journey with this one? We created some folder on the server now. Do you remember, guys? Some home directory, I told you. So the steps itself started with some directory creation. Am I correct, Kirti? Anuja? Arun? Atif? Ranga? So the steps itself was started in the beginning, right? We created some folder. So that folder path which we made a note, that folder path you have to give it here. So copy this and put it here. Right? And click on tab. Then next, labels. You can give any name here. So whatever the name that you're going to give here, this name will utilize in the project. Okay, so accordingly give it. So I'll say this is my 31B slave machine 1. Remember, something like this. Then how to use such? A lot of options are there. You can use first option, use this machine as much as possible. Now launch method is what? Very, very critical. So click on the down arrow button and you have to select the third option. What is the third option, guys? What is the option that you see here in this box? What is the third option? Quick. SSH, launch agents via SSH, correct? So you will get this option only when you install that plugin. That plugin was installed now. That is the reason you get this. If you don't see that option here, then please check with your plugin. So I select this, right? Then it is asking host and credentials. So here you have to provide the details of your node or a slave. So it is asking the slave host. Now what you fill up here? So here you have to fill up the details of IP address. You see this box? I given the sample in the notes also. You have to fill up the IP address. Okay. So what is that IP address of my slave now? How do you know the IP address of the slave? Go here and copy this. You have now slave IP. Where is this? In the box you'll have it. So where is that? So copy this. This is a slave machine, right? Copied and put it here. Are we good? So far, how come you got that IP address there? So this is nothing but my AWS server IP, Linux server IP that is. So I just kept that IP there. Then credentials. Now in the credentials part, this is the most dangerous thing in entire story, or you can say the villain part, where we generally make a mistakes. So I'll show you what to do. So I'll be super slow. So credentials will not have any of these things, but you need to click on add Jenkins. And here the kind, see the kind value is currently username with password. But we need to change that to the SSH username with private key. That is what you need to do. So go there and toggle that and select SSH. You see, this is what you need to do. SSH username with private key. Then it will give this option. Now, once you give this option, then see, you have to fill up these details, guys, right? So see, this is what you have to be super careful. So a lot of students also make drastic mistakes at this place only. So you guys don't make such mistakes, guys. So please be careful with this screenshot. So I'll do it. See here, you can write a description. This is, I'll say EC2 user ID password of slave machine. Username EC2 hyphen user, then private key. What you will say? Enter directly, right? So what you're trying to do here? See, enter directly. So what you have to do there? So click on add, right? And put that entire key here. Now the question comes is, how do you get that entire key? How do you get that entire key, guys? So I hope that is key is on your computer. I hope this is the one which you downloaded, right? So what you do is right click and open the git bash here. This is what you need to do. And cat that file. You need to cat that file, guys. Cat that file. Whatever you get, you need to put it there. Yeah. So copy from here and go up to here. Copy it. I repeat once again. See, copy from first dot to the last dot. Right click and say copy. Come here. Right click, paste. Everybody on same page? Confirm. This is one of the areas where mostly we make mistakes. So I want you guys to keep little more focus. So this should be SSH username with the private key. And you write anything under description. It is for your recognition only. Then username is EC2 hyphen user and put a check mark for this. And whatever you cat that out of that file, PEM file, directly copy paste here, including that starting dots also. Then click on add. That's it. So once you click on the add, then credentials, then you can see EC2 hyphen user. This is what I am planning. Give that credentials. Okay. See, I'm able to provide my credentials. So what happens is, so Jenkins will be able to use these credentials, whatever you supplied here, it will get into this machine 15.207 and get the build done. So that is the reason we provide the credentials. The next, host key verification strategy. What should be selected here? So for that, okay. So see, this is an option. Manually trusted key verification and put a check mark for require magnification of initial process. So that is what you need to do. So let me do it. Manually provided. Is it provided or trusted? Trusted. Trusted key and put a check mark. Okay, that's it. And what else? Then click on advanced. See, and then click on advanced and put the Java path values. Okay, put it here. Yeah, that's what you need to do. So let me go ahead and do it. So click on the advanced here and Java path case. Where is the Java setting on the client machine? Tell me. Do you have that Java details, right? So somewhere we saved. Yeah, this is a place. You remember, guys, that's the reason we made a note. Install and configure. So this is a place. So just copy this and put it here. So we're telling that to the computer. So Java is sitting at that place. So that is what we done, right? And make sure that you have to add bin/java at the end of that. So here say bin/java at the end. Okay. Then what else? What else? Next step. That's it. Nothing much here. Then finally save these changes. Yep. So finally we don't. So node properties, do I need to touch anything here according to the documentation? No, we don't touch anything. Okay. Make sure to uncheck. Why? So let me uncheck and see, guys, because two contradictory things are there. So it is telling, let me uncheck. Okay. I'm not checking this. I repeat, I'm removed this check mark for this, and rest of the things are intact. And I click on save. Now see what happens. Now, do you see the node mission shown up here? Right? So click on this node mission and there is the option here. Build, delete. No, let me go back. Yeah, it is starting. Just hold on, guys. So click on this. It is already connected. Hmm. Okay. So you have to keep an eye here. So the moment you give here, so what happens is it starts automatically connecting to it. And you can see if it is connected, guys. So basically, if it is connected properly, you will see that this will come up on the left hand side. Do you see left hand side? Confirm. Do you see the left hand side, guys? The mission. Under the build executor status, you will see the machine getting added. Okay. That machine, you can see the small screen icon, it is added. That adding will only come if it is positive. If there is any trouble with it, the same icon will show in the red color here. Red cross you'll get. So I'm not getting any red cross. So that means it is good. Okay. So that is what we done. See, we already see this. This is what I'm telling you. So like this is what you will see. Now, next step is to know how to get the build done on this slave, right? So that is a final last step to how to transfer the build onto that machine. So open up your target project now. Example, go to the dashboard and you pick up any project here which you want to get it done on the client, okay, on the slave. So I'll say this one, let's say compile our package, Maven project package, okay. I'll open this and go to the configure tab. And you need to go to the general tab, guys. Once you open up the right project, the target project, then go to the general tab. Okay. In the general tab, you will see an option that says restrict where the project this can be run. Do you see this option under general? Confirm. Everybody. At least 3 or 4 messages. Do you see that? Restrict where this project can be run under general tab. So put a check mark and just give that label name. So you have to remember the label name. See what label name we given for that configuration now. So we said some 31B. I think this is the label name. 31B slave hyphen machine 1. Give this and remove this unnecessary space there. Okay. And click on save. Just to give that label name, whatever you given there. Click on save and then say build now. And I want to see what happens. So second one build is going on. It failed. Okay. So it failed. Now let me go back. Oh yeah. So that is what we were missing. Correct, Sushmita. So see this we forgot. So configure the slave tools on the master Jenkins our global tool con. This step we forgot actually. So let me go ahead and do it. So before doing the project stuff, we need to do one more step also, final step. So go into the manage Jenkins. Then where is this? Configure global tool configurations. This part we forgot. 11th step. So come here and add JDK. So tell me guys, where did we install JDK on the slave? Click on add JDK. Where did we install? So I'll say this is a Java on this slave on my Linux. Where did we install? We need to put that path here. So I guess our path was this. Correct? Yes or no, guys? Quick. Yeah. So fill that. Then next, go to the Git. Click on add Git. Okay. And here you can say this is the same. Git installed on slave Linux. So execution path is simply Git. So that is also filled up. So I'm just following the document, guys. We forgot this step. See. So this is done. This is also done. Right. So we are moving on to the third step. Maven also we need to do. Maven. Okay. So same story. So open up the Maven here. Maven. Yeah, here. Maven installations. Add Maven. Remove this check mark and you can say this is the Maven that is installed on slave Linux. Where did we install? So that path we made a note now. So this is what. So just copy this and put it here. Got it? So then click on save. Are we clear on this step, guys? Confirm. Okay, nice. Now the final step is the one which we done little early. So same, go to the project, go to the configure tab, and we have to put the name here. Where we did that? Here now. So package. Correct. See, restrict we added there. Here also JDK we need to select. Where Linux you need to select. Got it? Linux. The next Git, right? So in the Git, say Git executable. So every configuration you need to check, guys. Java. See here, Java configuration. I selected Linux stuff, slave Linux. Under Git also, I don't want this. I'll say please don't use this. Install on the Windows. I want Linux. Okay. Maven also. See, I don't want on the Windows. I want Linux. So all values I change it to the Linux stuff. Am I clear? Java value I changed under General tab. Under Git, I pointed it to the Linux. Git, and also under the Maven, I pointed it to the Linux stuff there. Got it? See this one. So once this small changes are made, right? Then go ahead and click on build now. So that is what we have to do. So save and build now. Third one is starting. Console output. Okay, it is happening. Yes, sir, things are happening now. Yeah, Sushmita, we have installed the Git on the Linux machine. We done it. So meanwhile, while it does, I'll copy paste the entire notes over there so that you can guys do. So what is our session number? Please confirm, guys. It is 34. Okay. So I have updated your class notes, guys. So please follow it. So let's move back to the screen and see what happened. Yeah, it is finally success. Clear? So the build happened on the slave, not on the master. That you can know it from at the top only. You see? See, building remotely on this machine, 31B slave, right? So you can go to the dashboard and you can open up the slave machine and you can see the load statistics. Yeah, this now it started. See, you saw this graph got generated, right? And you can also see the build history also. On the build history, you see, so Maven, the same thing. Basically, it will tell you where it happened. You need to go to the same build number, and in the consoles you can check it, guys, where is actually it is happening. So console output, you basically check it is happening on this machine. Clear? So that's all for the day, and we have completed the distributed build setup concept. And technically, this is very important for the interview. So please practice this concept twice. Distributed build setup, practice it twice because the steps are little technical. Please do once and twice and keep a rough idea on how we are doing this. And that should do well for your interview, guys. So that's all for the day. And we'll catch up tomorrow as usual. Hello. See you. Bye bye.